Just me, or has the average Redditor's grasp on the English language gradually degraded over the last few years? English lecturer at a Japanese university here. It is mostly autocorrect and predictive text. English is actually very difficult to spell even for native speakers. Once a person, native or non-native, gets used to the convenience of spelling quickly and easily with autocorrect and predictive text available on any smartphone, they tend to decline in spelling ability in general. I also believe that critical thinking skills are down across the board, but that is another can of worms. Seems to coincide with people calling it an app instead of a website. I do see loose and lose mixed up far more often now. But I seem to notice less people spelling things wrong on purpose, like burb or sneck, so that's been nice. I never understood wanting to appear uneducated on purpose. You need also take into account posts with intentional misspellings. People flood in to correct the spelling, thus inflating the interest in the post, pushing it higher up the front page, compared to the same post with correct spelling. How do you know they aren't people for whom English is a second, or third, language? Reddit has grown in popularity outside the United States over the past few years, so it would make sense that there are more international users now than before. English language posts still get the most visibility, so it makes sense for someone to try to post in English. And the now common usage of off of. I just stopped listening to people who say it or write it. Something is on the table or off the table. It's not off of the table. And while I'm here, it's not based off a book. It's either based on the book or it's not based on the book. Off base refers to baseball, softball, or a person's relationship to a military base. Are you on the base or off the base? Nothing is based off anything. Day of hobby phases? You have a form of ADHD. So glad to see this isn't just me. My phases are comic books, Magic the Gathering, tabletop RPGs, and video games. I'm always rotating between the same hobbies. Said hobbies are anime, manga/manhwa, K-pop, drama, gaming. Phases can last from months to years. I thought I was the only one who did this. Most phases come for weeks, sometimes months, then on to the next one. I wish they were more predictable, then I could be like, let me pencil you in for July's gaming phase. I'm trying to get out of my gaming phase, playing more basketball, spending time alone, and exploring outdoors. I do, but they're not like yours. My hobby phases all happen throughout the day. For example, I'll game for a while if I have a game, I usually do. Then watch some TV episodes. Then read for a while if I have a book. It could be in a different order. Maybe I'll throw in a movie. If I have a jigsaw puzzle, I'll do that for a while. People say that there are no stupid questions. But what's the dumbest question you've ever heard? Back in the day when I was a breakfast chef, I got asked by a Muslim is the pork sausage and bacon was halal. I must have looked like a deer in headlights at the pure stupidity of the question. I said no, and he tried to argue with me that there is halal bacon. Kharis turkey bacon, but halal bacon doesn't exist because it's from a pig, which Muslims can't eat. He still put a pile on his plate and looked really confused. He looked a lot older than I was at the time. Thinking the time I myself asked an incredibly dumb question as an adult. It was just one of those bird brain moments where the second I asked it, I realized how dumb it was, and I absolutely knew the answer to this. Anyway, this was years ago and I was at a hardware store with my boyfriend. I saw this long plastic tubing and I immediately blurted, if I blew air into that, how long until you feel it come out the other side? I know somewhere in my brain I was picturing more like if you put in marble in there and blew. How long would it take to travel through the tubes? But I just said air. The moment it came out of my mouth I felt so stupid. Anyway, he gave me a really silly look and said, immediately? When I was young, but probably still too old, like 3rd grade, my class took a trip to a nearby mountain lake. A forest ranger had a model of the lake set up showing all the tributaries running out of the lake that feed a significant river in my area. I raised my hand and proudly asked, how does the water go back up the mountain? Lots of snickering, and the ranger just blank-faced me and said it doesn't. The water only flows down. I 100% thought the water somehow traveled back up through the tributaries. Looking back, he could have taken the opportunity to explain the water cycle. The water definitely goes back up the mountain. Just not in the way my young brain thought it did. What are the worst stereotypes about men? All men are obsessed with and can be manipulated by sex. I started an entrepreneurial journey when I was 20, and it took me around 12 years to get to a place where I was secure enough to feel comfortable dating. So for 12 years straight I was effectively 100% celibate by choice and didn't miss it because I had other motivations and drives. Now though, after the fact and the work has been put in, I'm married to the greatest woman on the planet and am honored to be the father to the best 3 children on the planet. Edit. Somehow it changed secure to decried. Not sure WTF happened there, lol. The dumb father stereotype. I was raised by a fantastic father. My brother-in-law is a fantastic dad. I know so many fantastic dads. But when I turn on the TV or go to the cinema, all I see are inconsiderate, bumbling, naive dunces. I'm not saying that every father in media needs to be an ultra-parent saint or anything. Just that some more positive portrayals would be nice. That if something is wrong in a relationship, it's most probably the guy's fault. As a girl, I've seen my guy friend being blamed for no reason. Everyone blindly supported the girl. It takes a lot of time for everyone to realize that maybe the girl is the problem in some cases. Also, generalizing that all men are trash. I get it. Not all men are like that, but mostly it's a guy. So we have no reason to call all of them the same. I've met amazing guys, friends and family, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. It's easy to say that the ones that haven't done anything wrong shouldn't be bothered about this statement. This is just as hurtful as any other stereotype out there.